Hey everybody, what's going on? It's Tracy with JDL Threads back with another video for you. And in today's video, we're going to be switching it up just a little bit. No embroidery, no rhinestones today, but today we are going to be going back to heat transfer vinyl. And we are going to be showing you how to decorate a pair of jeans. What you guys may not know or may know is that sewing is my first love, and so I got these jeans that I started I don't know how long ago, that I'm pretty much done with them. I got them all together, and I will say I'm getting quite good at getting these jeans sewed up and fitted properly. But we are going to be taking a pair of ordinary jeans and turning them into fabulous jeans, and here's how we're going to do that. We're going to be doing that with some heat transfer vinyl and our Cricut maker machine. So the supplies that you're going to need is a pair of jeans. You're also going to need a pair of scissors for cutting. You're going to need a lint roller. You're going to need your brayer and a weeding tool. You're going to need some masking tape. You're going to need your cutting mats. And you are going to need your vinyl so that you can go ahead and deck out those jeans and just make them look fabulous. So, also you're going to need to use your computer, and we're going to show you how to load these designs up in Cricut Design Space. And you're also going to need an iron or a heat press. All right, everybody. So head on with me over to my computer. So I'm going to show you how we get these designs loaded up into Cricut Design Space, how we get them printed out on our Cricut Maker 3, and how we get them pressed onto our jeans with our Heat Transfer Warehouse Waller Press to make these jeans look absolutely amazing. So come on, let's go. Okay, everybody. So the first thing that I did was I headed over to my favorite website, Creative Fabrica, and I found these pair of scissors that I liked. And this is an SVG file that will work with our Cricut cutting machines. I also found some sunflowers and some other flowers. I went to Google and I found a dress form and all SGB files. And the great thing about Creative Fabrica is if you do find you any designs on Google, the website, what you can do now is you can head on over to the home page, and what Creative Fabrica now offers is this here Creative Fabrica Studios, where you can go ahead and push start designing now, and you can take any design that you find off the website or any other design that you might find anywhere, and you can use this here, a PNG to an SVG converter or SVG file converter, a JPEG to an SVG, and you can convert those files into SVG format so that you can go ahead and use those designs to print out in your Cricut Design Space for your Cricut machine. All right, so I did go ahead and download those designs. So I went back, let's see, to that pair of scissors. And what I did was I just started off with my folder, which the name of my folder where I put all my SVG and PNG files is the Cricut SVG and PNG file. That's what I named it. Okay, so then it's going to come as a zipped file. All you're going to do is you're going to click on that file here. Let's see. It's going to come here as this zip file. You're going to go here to extract all files. And then all you would do is extract. Now, I have already done that, so I won't be doing it again. But that's just to show you the process and what you need to do. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my Cricut and SVG files. I'm going to look for my scissors, which I don't think that I named them scissors at the time. So I'm going to go back to my, excuse me, my download file here where here's everything you saw that I downloaded from Creative Fabrica just today. Okay, and the name of the scissors were Doodle Scissors. All right, so let me go back and we're going to look for Doodle Scissors. They are Doodle Scissors. So we're just going to click on it. Then I go to view. I go to read large icons, and there it is. So then I would go and I would open up my Cricut Design Space. And I would do upload images. I would go back to my file. And then I would just take those scissors and drop them into Cricut Design Space. I would push continue and upload here. Okay, and I'm going to just make that just a little bit smaller so you can see those scissors. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this whole thing and I'm going to hit arrange and I'm going to ungroup it because as you can see, this little circle for the scissors came in all the way down in the bottom. It's going to go right here and it's making that box just way too big. Okay, so once I get it ungrouped, I'm just going to take that little circle and I'm going to move it up. And I'm going to go to my whole design here, the scissors with the 3 dashed lines. I'm going to go to arrange. And I'm going to go to no, I'm not going to go to arrange on this one because this one is I already ungrouped it. So I'm going to go to duplicate and I'm going to make another pair of scissors. And I'm going to make that even smaller and I'm going to push those other pair of the scissors over to the side over here. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is because I don't really want these little lines as part of my design, so I'm going to go ahead and delete these out. So I put the box around them and I go over here to the trash can where it says delete up under our layers panel, and I'm just going to take those out and delete those out. Okay, so now we have our 2 pair of scissors and our circle. Excuse me, guys. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and highlight my scissors because I want one pair of the scissors to be a solid background, and then I want the other scissors to have this circle here so that it could be like a double layered effect. So I'm going to hit contour, and I'm just going to take these 2 little circles out. And once you see that they're no longer gray on this side over here, then you're just going to push the X, and you'll see that now you just have a pair of scissors with no circle. So I'm going to change that pair of scissors to gray. And then I'm going to change this pair of scissors to purple because purple is my favorite color. And then I'm just going to layer them right on top. I'm going to move my little circle right over here. And actually what I think, you guys, is I think this is also grouped and I don't want 2 of those circles. So I'm going to put the box around my little circle. I'm going to let's see, group that back up. Now I'm going to ungroup that. And then I'm just going to highlight my one solid circle here. And that's the only one I'm going to need because I don't want this circle here with the outline. I don't want that. So I'm going to highlight that one and I'm going to put it in the trash. And then I'm just going to take this circle here, the solid circle, and I'm also going to turn that one into gray. So we're going to go up to our colors panel and we're going to change that to gray. And then I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. Let's see, go down here and enlarge our size. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Okay, now we'll make it back a little bit smaller so I can find my scissors. And then I'm just going to take that circle and I'm going to put it right over here on top of my scissors. And now you see it looks like a real pair of scissors. Okay, then all I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything. And then I'm going to go back over here to arrange. And I'm just going to say group them all, so that they all can be grouped at one time when I go to move them, and everything will be in place, and we won't have one pair of scissors really bigger than the other pair of scissors when we go to get that cut out. Okay, so I have some fonts over here that I'm also going to make part of my design. And also what you would do is you would just hit text. What you would do is I don't know why my text is all the way hiding up there. Okay, let's try that again. Let's undo that and let's undo that other text. So what we would do is we would hit text and we would just put in a text. So I already have my text is in there. It's going to be classy, ratchet, bougie, savage. Okay, and so all we would do is we would type in what we wanted. So I'm going to just temporarily make these others go away so you can see. Go back. I'm going to delete this text because it won't let me write once I push enter. So once I hit text, I would just enter the word that I like to have. I go up here to my fonts and I hit the drop down menu, and then I could select either the Cricut fonts that you have. You could either search the free fonts, the fonts with the A that comes on the side of the font. Those are paid subscription fonts, so you wouldn't be able to use those unless you had a paid subscription. Or you can go to system where you can download fonts of your own and pick any one of those fonts to change into your font. And as you guys can see, I have downloaded 343 true fonts. And so I just picked this one, which was Amsterdam. And that's what the Amsterdam was. And so I picked 4 different fonts for 4 different of my words. And you could just put them anywhere on the page in preparations for your cut. So I'm going to highlight that one. And I'm going to go ahead and bring my scissors back to the board. Cricut design space. So I'm going to make this a little bit small so I can find my scissors. And then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger now so we can get in the center of the page here. Move it down. And then at this point, all we would do is we would go ahead and we would push make it. Oh, it says my image is too large. So because I'm using a 12 by 24 mat, it has to be up here 12 by 24 inches. So just for teaching purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and put in a 6. width and a 5 height. And then I would go ahead and push make it. And then as you can see, it will give me my solid background scissors here with my little circle. And that's on one mat. We are going to be using heat transfer vinyl. So we would make sure that we mirror our image here, which it would turn on to mirror and it would be green. And then at this point, we have two mats, one with our solid scissors and our dot, and then one also with our scissors with the hole in it, which is going to be our top layer of scissors. Then we would just push continue. And the computer is thinking right now, so we would just wait on our computer. I'm going to pick everyday iron-on settings. I'm going to go from default to more pressure. I'm going to use my fine point blade. And then I would just go to my Cricut machine where the two blinking arrows would be blinking. I would load in my mat. And I would wait for it to find the mat. Oh, also, let me backtrack. Very important what you will want to do. I always seem to forget a step, you guys. I am so sorry. Here we have our scissors. So when you go to lay your heat transfer vinyl down, you want to make sure you have the correct size. Okay? So these scissors start at 1, and I'm just going to put this little dot over here in between the scissors there. And so the mat inches that you would need is 1 through 7. I always just go a little bit over, and 1 down to about 6.5. And that would be your first cut piece of vinyl on mat 1. And then on mat 2, if you're using 2 mats, it would be from 1 to 6 across, maybe 1 to 6.5, and then 1 to 6 down, so that you make sure that you have enough vinyl for both your cuts. You would mirror both these cuts. You would get the correct size mat. Mine is a 12 by 24 inch mat, so I would pick that one. However, if you were using a 12 by 12 mat, you would just hit the drop down box and you would go and change that to 12 by 12. And it would adjust that mat for you, but mine is 12 by 24, so I'm going to go ahead and change that back. Okay, and then all you would do is you would go back, you would hit continue. Again, you will wait for our Cricut design space to find our maker. We would hit everyday iron on. I like to use more pressure. And then we would just go ahead, wait for the two blinking arrows to line up our mat in our Cricut machine. Okay, so that's one of the designs, you guys. So now I'm not going to go ahead and print that one because I have already printed that one, but let me show you my sunflower design and how we unlayer that to get different colors for a design that might come in as one color. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight my group of scissors. I'm going to temporarily make those disappear from the page. And I'm going to bring back into Cricut Design Space my sunflower. So all I would do is I would hit upload. I already have my image uploaded here, my sunflower, so I would click on that and I would just add it to the canvas. Okay. So I would bring that up and make it bigger. Not sure what this box is here, but we're going to delete that off. So now as you can see, all the sunflower came in as one color yellow and everything is moving. It's in a group. Okay, but I don't want this white, this circle here, and I don't want these little dots white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to arrange and I'm going to ungroup it. Okay, I'm going to click out the side of the box. And then that way, everything starts separating away from each other. Then we're going to ungroup this one more time, the two circles from the dots. And so we now have three parts. We have our yellow sunflower, we have our outer circle, and we have our dots. Okay, so now I'm going to leave my yellow flower yellow. Okay, so but now what I'm going to do is I want this ring here, the outer ring, to be pink. So I'm going to go right over here to my colors. And I'm going to click up here by where it says basic cut. It's a white box there. You can barely see it. But once you click on it, it will bring up all your colors. And I'm going to change that to pink. And then I'm going to highlight all of my little dots. And I don't want those white. I want those black. Okay. So now you see how it changed all those colors. Now, also, what I would like to do is I would like to have a green background here underneath these little dots. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to shapes. I'm just going to go ahead and push a circle. I'm going to bring that circle here, and I'm just going to stretch that circle big enough until I can get it to fit inside of my already, oops, don't take your shape and drag it where it gets out of alignment. So all I did was hit the corner and I made the circle bigger. That makes it bigger both sideways and up and down, horizontal and vertical. Okay, so then I'm just going to push my circle up here. I'm going to go back up on my page so that I can find my other designs. And I want to fit this circle into this part of my pink circle right here. And I want this to be green. So we're going to put our box around our black circle. We're going to go up here to our color panel, and I'm just going to change that to green. Okay, now my green box is still highlighted. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the edge of all my corners, and I'm just going to bring it out until that green circle fits inside of my pink circle. Okay, I'm going to move this back over here, my yellow sunflower. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to take these black dots here and I'm going to put them, you can put them right on top of the green circle. So you would hit arrange and you would just hit bring forward and that would place those there. Okay, so now what I would like to do is I want to go in here and get this yellow out from around this circle here with my dots because I only want that to be green. So I'm going to highlight that one, all of these layers here. And then I'm also going to highlight my sunflower. And I'm going to hit ungroup. Now when I ungroup it, you'll see that I can take out this whole yellow circle here with the dots. And I'm just going to put in all of my circles back in its spot to have my flower look the way that I want to look, right? Then all we would do is I'm going to delete this out here. So I would highlight it. I'll go to the trash can here and I can put delete. Or if you want to keep that, all you do is go over to your panel size, which is here by my pointer, and you could just temporarily click that off with your eye. Okay, I'm going to move that back. So now what I'm going to do is all of my shapes are individually all on the canvas. And I don't want them to print all individually, because if at this point you see over here on my layers part, I have too many cuts all over the place, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to push unite. No, I don't want to push unite. I'm going to undo that. I'm going to highlight everything so I can move it, and I'm going to push group just so I can move it back around. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, and then I'm going to ungroup it one more time. Okay, so now I'm going to take my green layer, I'm going to highlight my pink layer, I'm going to move that out. Okay, but don't stretch it out of shape. So you're going to move your pink layer, and you can highlight your yellow layer and your black layer, and I'm going to weld those all together. No, I don't want to weld them. I'm just going to attach them so that I can move them. Okay. Okay, what you would do is I'm going to move my yellow layer over here. And I've attached them, so I want to detach them because I don't want these to be yellow. I want all these to be black. Okay, so let me make it a little bit bigger so I can grab onto just my dots. Okay, so I'm going to highlight all my dots in here. Okay, then I'm going to let me make it a little bit bigger so I can highlight all of my dots. Okay, it's not wanting to just grab my dots right now. Come on, be nice. I'm going to attach all those. Now let me see if I just only got my dots. Okay, and it looks like I grabbed accidentally one of these petals, so I don't want that. My goal was to just grab these dots here. So now those are all grouped together, attached. So now I'm just going to detach those. Okay, and then I can take my petal and I can move it back where it was. Okay, now I'm going to highlight all my dots. I'm going to come down here to combine, and I'm going to weld those all together. Okay. And then I'm going to change these dots to black. Okay, so now all my black ones are welded together. So once I move it, you'll see that they all move together instead of individually. Then I'm going to highlight my sunflower. And I'm going to weld that. So I'm going to come down here to combine, and we're going to weld that together. Okay, So now you see my sunflower moves all as one instead of individually. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. And if you look over here, you'll see what I have highlighted is 1, the welded flowers, the welded circles, the green circle, and the sunflower. And we're just going to ignore these here because these are temporarily invisible, okay? Normally, they wouldn't be here, but since I was doing another project, I just made them invisible. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 layers here under the layers panel. So now if we hit make it, whoops, my image is too large. It's saying it's 13 by 5 by 13 and a half. So what we need to do is we just need to scoot all of these images over just a bit. Okay. And just make it a little bit smaller. Oh, and right here it says it's 49 by 52 height. So we don't want that. That's way too big. So I'm going to highlight the width. And I'm just, let's say I think it's 5, a 5 by 5. I think that's what I made it. Okay. Then we'll just go down here and we'll hit our percentage to make it a little bit bigger. Now I just have to find it on my page. Okay, so there it is. We're just going to highlight everything and move it up a little bit closer to the middle of the screen. So now with everything around the box around my 4 layers, 1, 2, 3, 4, you see over here everything, the 4 layers are highlighted in green. Okay, so now that we have the correct width and the height for our mat, we can go ahead and we can hit make it. Because now I've taken the design from a 1-dimensional design and I've made it into a 4-dimensional design where we're going to go ahead and layer that up. So if we hit make it at this point, it should put it on 4 mats, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we would just go in and mirror all our designs. Mirror, mirror, every mat we're going to mirror. And be extra careful to check where your heat transfer vinyl should be sitting as far as your inches. For example, this one is 2 inches across and 2 inches down. My mat 3 is 4.5 inches across, which I would just probably go ahead and do 5, and 4 inches down, which I would go do 4.5, and so on and so forth. And then all we would do is we would hit continue. We would wait for it to get started. We would hit everyday iron on, and I would hit more pressure. And then it's going to give me those designs on the mats where I have them in order for each cut, one by one. And we would hit the blinking lights for our Cricut Maker machine to find our mat. And once it finds our mat, we would just hit play to start our cut. Okay, everybody, we are over back to the craft table. And so what I have done is I have lined up my heat transfer vinyl, okay, exactly on the lines as it shows on the computer, which is the yellow is going to be on the mat from 10 across to about 11 down. So as you've gone ahead and see, I just left it at 12 and put it to 12 over here so that we don't have any problems with anything getting cut off. And then for me, I like to put different colors on the same mat, but if that is something that you do not want to do, or you just want to stick to the basics, what you can do is use a separate mat for each one of your different colors. But I'm going to use my pink heat transfer vinyl for my circles, my outer circles, and I am going to put those down to 14 to 16, which you see I've added it a little bit at 13 to about 16 and a half to make sure that we get everything in the cut. So I have it on my 12 by 24 mat. I have my heat transfer vinyl mirrored, and I'm going to press continue on my computer in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to choose my everyday iron on setting. I'm going to choose more pressure. And let me just go back and I'll show you guys what that looks like over here at the computer. Let me just turn everything around here. Yes, so as you can see here, my heat transfer vinyl is on 10 and a half through a 10 and a half for my yellow, and down here 14 and a half through about 16. So I'm going to push continue. I am on my 12 by 24 mat here because I had added both cuts together. I'm going to make sure it's on mirror, which is. So I'm going to push done. I'm going to push everyday iron on. I'm going to push more pressure. And my blinking lights on my computer will be going, on my Cricut Maker 3 will be going. So now we will just come over to the Cricut Maker 3. We will load up our mat and we will go ahead and proceed with our cut. Right, so as you can see, our black blinking lights are blinking. We're going to go ahead and load our mat in, pushing our mat all the way up to those rollers. Push the 2 arrows so that our mat can be detected in our maker. I have added down the blue tape because sometimes my mat just doesn't want to stick as good. I have to make sure I get it cleaned off. And then we are ready for our cut. So we are going to go ahead and hit play to get this cut started, you guys. Here we go. Right now we're going to cut out our 3 sunflowers, and then we're going to next cut out our outer circles for the inside of our sunflowers. And we've already got cut our little dots for our inside of our circle and our inside circle for our green color. We've already pre-cut those, but just to give you an idea of how it cuts, we're going to show you the process of cutting out your individual layers and how to get those layered onto our jeans once we get done with our cut and get that weeded out. Okay, and I'm just gonna check my mat to make sure that I can see the lines on my cut before I release it, because if in the event that you don't see your cuts going all the way through on your vinyl, what you can do is just go ahead and hit play one more time over here before releasing out your mat, and that way it'll cut your objects in the same place, instead of if you take your mat out and try to line it back up and put it back in and press the play and start over, it'll never line up. So if you think that you need to recut, just take a quick look at your mat and hit that start button again and let it cut one more time so that we can get those cuts the same all the way around. But my cuts look pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and just take my mat out, and we're going to do that by hitting our 2 blinking arrows, which will release our mat. And then we're going to go on over back to our craft table so we can get this weeded out and we can get this all get ready set up so that we can get it ready for the press. So come on back with me over to my craft table. All right, everybody. So we are back over at the craft table. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and remove my blue tape first and just set that to the bottom of my mat. I do have some extra vinyl left over from my yellow cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get that cut out, because we may be able to just use that little piece for another cut that we have later on for another design. So that's what I'm going to do first, is just go right over here and cut out all this leftover vinyl. Before we get ready to weed it out. And there we go. And we'll just save that piece for later. So we're going to start our weeding process now. We're just going to go ahead and grab us one little corner of the yellow, and we're going to weed out. And again, I always get all of my vinyl from Temu because they have great prices and it weeds out just as good as any of the other vinyl for the fraction of the cost. But everybody has where they like to get their own vinyl, so just stick to what you like, you guys. But for me, this works, so I'm going to be using the vinyl from Temu. Weeds out really nice. All right, 1 flower down and 3 more to go. Excuse me, 2 more to go. All right, and so we have our 3 yellow flowers cut out. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to proceed to cut out my outer ring circles. Again, saving as much of that leftover vinyl as I can so that we might be able to use that for another project. I'm just going to scoot this over a little bit this way so you can see how I weed out these circles. This is going to be the outer circle for the flower. And all we're going to do is we're going to layer our vinyl to make us a nice flower for our jeans. All right, you guys, and there you have it. You have our 3 cut out flowers, and then you also have the inside, or excuse me, the outside of our flowers cut off. So all I'm going to do now is just go ahead and cut these individually now, because we're just going to layer them up when we get ready to press. And let me show you what that layering process looks like. So we're just going to take each of our bottom parts of our yellow sunflower and lay it down. And then on top of that, we are going to put our yellow outside part of our flower, like so. Like so. And then we're going to just take our green and black layers that we already had cut out, and we are going to layer those on top. Then everything is going to get pressed individually so that we can have us some nice designs for our jeans. Okay, and there you go. That's what our sunflower is going to look like. All right. So now we'll just go ahead and get ready to get it pressed down on our jeans. Okay, everybody, and so we are now over at the heat press. It has heated up to 300 degrees. I normally just keep everything on 300 degrees. So here are the pants that we're going to be pressing. Don't pay any attention to my pants because I haven't got the carriers sewed down yet. As you can see, they're still off, but I just got to sew those up and put a button on, and then I'll be done. But these are some jeans that I made, and I was trying to be different and do a little deconstruction action by adding just pieces of material from other little jeans to give them just more of an upcycle look. But I didn't want to stop there. I wanted to keep on adding some more designs to give them an absolutely personal touch. Oh, and also I forgot, we're going to need parchment paper for pressing and a heat pillow if you have one, just to lift your pants up if you come to a spot that has a lot of seams or pockets. Okay, I'm going to try to stay away from this button here, but I'm going to go ahead and get everything else pressed. So what I think is, I want to go ahead and right here, I want to put one of my sunflowers. So I'm going to pull my platen out. I got this pin in here. I want to make sure I take that off because I don't want that to melt. I'm going to lint roll my jeans. Get off some of that extra lint. And then I'm just going to give it a nice press. I'm just going to put my pillow on top of that here so I can give it a nice press. Where I'm going to put that inside. Oh, that's kind of hot. Where I'm going to put my design there. Right about there so I can get it elevated pretty nice, okay? And it's so thick it won't go down, you guys. So I'm just going to hold it for about 10 seconds to suck out a little of that moisture. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our first layer. I'm just going to put one sunflower here. And again, remember, All 3 sunflowers have 4 layers. So we're going to start with the very bottom layer, which is the yellow layer. And we're going to get that pressed on first. So we're going to take off all our other layers because we can only press 1 layer at a time. So I'm going to put it approximately right there. I'm going to push it back in, and I'm going to press down for about 10 seconds. And I'm just going to have to hold it real good because, again, like I said, it is so much fabric underneath here that my heat press doesn't want to close all the way. So we're just going to hold it until our time is up. And again, my heat press is on 300 degrees. Okay, you hear the beep? So we'll let it up. And the yellow, for some reason, is a cold peel. So we're just going to give that a little bit of time to cool off. And it looks like where our pressing pillow was, we missed one side of the flower. So I'm going to just scoop my pressing pillow over a little bit and press it down for another about 6 seconds. Okay, I'm going to let that up. And we're just going to pull our platen out and let that cool off just a bit. While I'm waiting, I can take my other layers that I have here. I have 3 more layers. So the next is going to be the pink layer that we're going to get pressed on. Then the green layer, our green circle, and then our dots. So I'm going to get those separated. And I think that's been long enough, so we can go ahead and see if we get a good peel on our yellow sunflower. And look at that, you guys. We got a nice peel there on our sunflower for our jeans. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my green layer. Oh no, my pink layer, because that's the next layer that's got to go in. And I'm going to put it right lined up as best I can on top of that sunflower. I'm going to take my parchment paper and put it on the top, press my platen back in, and we're going to give it a nice press for about 10 seconds. Okay, we're going to let that up. And the pink should be a hot peel. So we're going to go ahead and just peel that off. Nice. Nice, very nice. All right, then our next layer is our green layer. We're going to line that up in the center of our pink layer. We're going to put our parchment paper back on the top, and we're going to push our platen in, and we're going to give it another press for about another 10 seconds. All right, that was 10 seconds. We're going to let that up. We're going to pull off our plastic. That's hot. And we're going to take our last and final layer, our black layer, and we're going to lay it right on the top. Coming out really nice, you guys. Coming out really nice. I'm going to take my parchment paper and just lay it back on top. And we're going to give it a press for about 10 seconds. All right, we're going to remove our parchment paper, and we're going to peel back. Well, that didn't work. So we got to push that back in there and press that down for a little while longer, because that one is glitter vinyl. So we got to press that one a little bit longer. All right, let that up. And that's kind of hot right now, so I'm going to give that a second just to cool off a bit. Try to find this corner. And what do you know, you guys? My glitter vinyl is not sticking. So maybe I need to turn it up just a bit. So let me just reach over just a bit. All right, now I've raised that up from 300 to 350. So we got to give that just a little bit more time to get back up there to 350, you guys. Still waiting on it to get up to 350. All right, everybody. And so we're back now. The heat press has heated up to 350 degrees for our glitter vinyl because my glitter vinyl, the temperature was on low and so it wasn't really sticking as well. I did also change out my heat pad to a much larger one so that the flower is all the way covered underneath. So what we're going to do is we're going to push our platen in and we're going to go ahead and give it one more press for about 10 seconds. So we can make sure that our glitter vinyl is all the way adhered. All right, we're going to let that up. We're going to remove our parchment paper. I'm going to just wait a little minute because this is kind of hot. Let me see if I can just lift it with my nail there. All right. Looks like we're still missing two that didn't want to stick, but we're going to just move on. I'm going to push it back in, put my platen paper on it one more time, my parchment paper, and we're going to give it one last good press to seal in all those layers to our jeans. And then all we're going to do is we're going to repeat the process for our next three flowers. So that we can go ahead and get these jeans done. All right. And there you have it, you guys. See, two of my little dots are missing there, but that's okay. Still looks great. I'm going to take out my pressing pad. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my jeans over because now I want to put one of these sunflowers on the back pocket. So I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that whole process again with my yellow layer first, my pink layer, my green layer, and then my black layer. And let me just get another piece of parchment paper because my other one fell on the other side of the table. Go ahead and do these last two flowers, and I'm going to speed the video up for time's sake, okay? Next, I'm just going to start putting on my text. Okay, so that one was a cool peel. Gonna just stick my pillow back in here so I can put my next word on the bottom down here. Whoa, my L didn't lift up all that good, you guys. That's okay. We're gonna try to redeem it. I'm just gonna peel it all off and then I'll just print another L. Can't have that looking all crazy. So I want to do the pocket. So I'm going to lint roll the pocket and I'm going to lint roll this blue material here as well because I'm going to go ahead and try to put my dress form on there. So I'm going to push it back in. Maybe I'll just turn it sideways. Turn it this way because we have, maybe I'll turn it upside down because we have more room to work with this way. All right. Give it a good press. Get out some of the moisture. And I'm going to lay my bottom layer of my scissors down. And I'm also going to lay down my dress form. I'll just cut a piece of that transfer tape off because I want it right on the part down there on that little blue piece. Going to scoot back in my pillow. And I might have to just get this in two parts. So I'm going to go ahead and get the scissors first because the pillow won't reach all the way down there. And then I'll go ahead and push the pillow down to get the dress form. covering it up with the parchment paper to give it all a final press. Okay, you guys, so now I'm going to put the last words on the back. Final press for 10 seconds. All right, everybody, and with that, my fabulous pants are complete. Now, I did go ahead and off camera, I did go ahead and press me another L for the one that peeled up, and it pressed in just perfectly. And I also added some flowers and a tape measure and a pin cushion. So let me hold these beautiful pants up for you and let you see what they look like. I will say they are fabulous, if I do say so myself. All right, and there are my one-of-a-kind jeans, everybody, that I decorated just for me. And that's the most great thing about being a garment decorator, because everybody has different ideas and everybody is going to do something different. So when you can learn how to do all these different kind of crafts, you can just make things the way that you like them to be. And that's me. I buy some things out of the store, but mostly I make everything. And so this is just another good thing for me to do, to decorate pants. Not only can you decorate with embroidery, but as you can see, you can decorate with heat transfer vinyl. Check that out. That's the back of the pants. And one more time, let me show you that front. There's that one leg. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? Looks great. And there's the other leg. And one more time, let me hold it up and try to get it all in camera for you guys. Nice, if I do say so myself. If I do say so myself. So, with that, that concludes our video for tonight. Our decorating our jeans with our heat transfer vinyl. And I'm going to finish up my pants, finish lashing down my loops, and get on my button there. And I am good to go. And I want to thank you guys for joining in with my video. And I hope you did enjoy my video. And guess what, you guys? I'll see you in the next one. Everybody take care. And peace out.